Good morning, everybody. Lee Brower here, and welcome to this week's edition of Meaningful Monday. I am so grateful to be here, and I am so glad to be here. And I'm grateful that you're here. You know, yesterday morning I woke up to a text from a good friend, Brent Owens. It just said one line, "Happy Start Day, Lee." Instead of saying happy birthday, Lee, he said happy start day. Well, how appropriate. Really, think about it in light of last week's Meaningful Monday. When I reflected upon the fact I shared with you, and most of you know this, that I do a video to myself on December 31st of every year. It's actually talking to me, saying, "Hey Lee, if you're watching this," and then I talk about what my thoughts were. I answered the Dan Sullivan question. And the Dan Sullivan question, a little modification, goes like this. If I'm sitting here 1 year from today, looking back to today, what has to have happened for me to feel that I've made meaningful progress in those areas of my life I value most? Looking at life through the lens of the empowered wealth mindset. And I love doing that. One thing in common with each of the last 5 years that I've done this is that I've gotten to the end of the year and there were so many things that were unexpected, both good and bad, throughout the year. That's a common element. But what I talk about is how I'll either respond or react to those. Well, this year, there's already been so many things that none of us had any inkling would be happening. And so I've decided to look at it on June 30th of this year, and I decided to remake a new one for the next 6 months. Now, as I think about the new one and think about languaging, one of the things that I really try to focus on is changing that O to an E. Not the things I got to do, but the things I get to do. And that came from a man, Steve, very good friend of mine, great business leader, great family leader, great religious leader, great community leader, somebody that I admire immensely. And Steve was asked one time what he attributed his success to, and he said, "My mom and the letter E." He was a basketball junkie as a kid, and he tells the story of when his buddies came over and said, "Come on, Steve, we gotta go now." And he yelled back, said, "I can't, I gotta take out the trash." And his mom said, "Stephen, change that O to an E." And he goes, "I get to take out the trash?" She said, "That's right, Stephen. There's millions of people around the world that would trade places with you in a heartbeat. They have to walk on their trash. You get to pick the trash up, take it up to the highway, and a truck comes by and picks it up, takes it to a dump where it buries it, where you never have to walk on it, smell it, or deal with it again. You get to take out the trash." And every time you think of things that you've got to do, Stephen, just change that O to an E. Well, I started thinking about that. I was on a big hike yesterday morning, and I had a lot of contemplative time. And one of the empowering questions was, how can I create value over the next 6 months? And I was thinking of the E versus O, and then all of a sudden I said, wait a second, change the O to two O's. Instead of O to an E, O to two O's. I mentioned this to my daughter, and she goes, "Goot? You're going to go from get to goot, or I got to goot?" I said, no. I'm going from I got to I choose to. There's a little bit of a difference there, and as I've really thought about it, and I may not explain it as well as I want to, but it seems to me that when I choose to do something, then I get the benefits of it. But it is a choice. So right now, at the end of this semester of this year, this halfway point, I'm going to make certain decisions around what I want, what I envision, what I intend. I don't think any of us will make bad decisions about what we want, what we desire. We don't desire to be totally out of shape. We don't desire to be the worst father, the worst mother, the worst student. We desire things that we aspire to be, to become, to do, to experience. Those are decisions that we make. And then our choices become the enemy or the friend in that. So if I choose to be healthy, if I decide I want to have a healthy year and I choose to eat something that's not healthy, that's a choice. So I decided this year, as I look forward to the next 6 months, I am writing it down. This is what I decide I want my 6 months to do, and here's my choices. Here's what I choose to do. I'm going to change that O to two O's. And by choosing those things, by making the right choices, I get the blessings or the benefits of those choices. If I choose to eat right, if I choose to get up when my alarm goes off and go work out, if I choose to spend time organizing my day, if I choose to have the PMED, then I get to have the benefits from that. So I'm adding 2 O's to the equation, doubling down on that 1 O and getting 2 O's out of it. I'd like to know your thoughts on this. Think about this coming 6 months. What is it that you get to choose to do that will honor your decision to become the very best that you can become? What are those things that you get to choose to do? And as a result of it, what blessings will you get or receive as a result of doing that? Have a wonderful week. I encourage you, if you feel so inclined, look at this next 6 months and spend the time to go through this process yourself. Thank you for spending this time with me. I look forward to talking to you next week. Bye-bye.